Iron Pestle. The Mahabharatha is a great epic, and at the same time it is one of the first great poems of the world. This story is depicted in that great book by Vyasa, an ascetic. According to the epic, Lord Krishna was the king of the dynasty of the shepherds called Yadhav. One day, when Lord Krishna was the ruler, some ascetics wanted to see him to get blessed and gifted. They set out for Dwaraka, which was Krishna's palace. About this time, some naughty boys from the palace were playing in a meadow that was not too far away from the palace. They saw some ascetics moving to the palace. They had heard that the ascetics were people with extreme powerful skills which they got through meditation and penance. They wanted to test and mock the ascetics. One of the boys disguised as a pregnant lady, and the others pretended to be her attendants. They waited on the way for the ascetics to approach. When they neared, one of the boys stopped them and asked, "Swamin, will you please predict whether the child this lady gives birth, male or female?" The ascetics looked at each other. They could not tolerate this impertinence. One of the angriest ascetics retorted loudly, waving his hand against the fake lady in contempt. "This lady will give birth to an iron pestle, and your dynasty will be ended with it." So, cursing the boys, the ascetics went to the palace. They saw the Lord, and after his blessings and gifts, they returned. The frightened boys waited on the way for the ascetics to come back. They had heard that the curses of ascetics would come true. This thought made them fear. When the ascetics arrived, they implored them to forgive. At last, the ascetics felt sorry for the boys, and they said, "Whatever it may be, our curse will come true. As an atonement, grind that pestle into dust and throw it into the sea. Thus the curse will be disabled." They returned. As was the prediction, the accused gave birth to an iron pestle, and it was ground to dust by the servants in the palace. But since all of them were tired of that monotonous work, they left a little piece remained in the end, not ground. That piece was also thrown into the sea with the dust. The thrown away dust particles were leached to the shore, and the glaring iron piece was swallowed by a large fish. The dust particles germinated into a sacrificial grass. The fish was caught by a fisherman, and he sold it to an aborigine. He got the iron piece from the fish, and it was malleated to an arrow head. Once some tribal people came to the kingdom and hid among the sacrificial grass. At night, they uprooted those grasses and attacked the kingdom with them. The blades of those grasses killed the Yadava people, and at last Lord Krishna remained. One day he was sitting in a forest playing a flute. About this time the aborigine came that way, and he saw the Lord's big toe moving with the rhythm of the tune. He misunderstood it to be a bird and shot an arrow. The poisoned arrow pierced into the Lord's leg, and he was taken back to heaven. Thus the curse came true.